You know that moment when you tell yourself, if I can just get this done, then I can rest. That sentence has pushed me harder than any deadline ever has. Today I'm going to talk about what lies underneath that push, why it happens, how it tricks you, and what you can do to catch yourself before you hit the wall. Lately we've talked about what we can do when other people aren't doing their part. Today I want to flip that gently and look at something harder. What happens when you're the one who's expecting too much from you? This is something I'm learning all over again in real time. Last week really reminded me how easy it is to slip into pushing myself too hard. And when I do, it hits hard. How much do you ask of yourself? And would you hold anyone else to such a standard? For me, pushing too hard doesn't start with effort. It starts with denial. Seemingly tiny little things. I'll get a drink in a minute. I'll go for my walk afterwards. I'll take a break when I've just finished this bit. Do you recognise the I'll reward myself after lie? I know I do. I'm well acquainted with this pattern. And very often now I stop it in its tracks because I know what will happen if I don't. I'll start to feel tetchy. My flow seeps away and I hardly notice. I just keep pushing. And the more I struggle, the more uphill it becomes. Tiny errors, longer pauses. I just want it done. And I'm irritated that it's not. This last week, I just kept telling myself, I'll just finish this. And that one thing, it became a day. And I became bent out of shape because nothing was going to plan. Despite all my rigorous hard work, it felt like I'd really messed up. Yet my only measure and judge is me. I was exhausted, not because the task was hard, but because I'd ignored myself. What's the very first sign your body gives you when you're pushing too hard? Isn't it funny how easily effort can become force? But that's what happens when I skip past my needs and make a dive for the finish line. Like just recently, I had an idea that I wanted to action straight away. A separate mini short series, filmed for a different purpose, in a different way. The first run hit a block because I had a sound issue. I tried again, but it was more than my energy could support. I hit technical glitches with the software. Some usually simple steps took a whole day. My I must get this done mindset slipped in before I even noticed, and my energy crashed to a standstill. And I was forced to stop as my fears rose up through my tiredness and winded me. You're going to fail. It's too late. You can't recover. Nothing true, but it felt very real because I was overtired. When was the last time you realised you weren't working anymore? You were forcing yourself. Have you ever realised that sometimes the main obstacle is you? Because that's what I've come to realise by pushing myself too hard. It's not perfectionism. It's not pressure from others. It's this feeling that if I don't do everything that I possibly can, I'll be letting myself down. In my case, the finish line fantasy is tied to feeling safe. Everything will be okay when this is achieved. So I start sacrificing simple needs like getting a drink, taking a break, to plough on until I reach the goal. I'll have them when I'm done. And as I push on and tiredness is crowding in on every level, old fears start to seep in. If I don't succeed, it's on me. This voice comes from responsibility, not failure. It's a good trait, but the volume has been turned up too high. And eventually I realise that I'm treating myself as others have done, and I'm becoming the one who always picks up the slack and never gets a break. But now I'm doing it to myself. Whose voice taught you that pushing equals strength? Have you noticed how when you're present and aware, you can see the signs and step in? For me, the signs can show up quietly, so the sooner I notice them, the sooner I can reset. They're things like hunger and thirst ignored, thoughts turning irritable, memory dredging up old hurts, muscles stiffening, tunnel vision on small problems, losing the wider perspective. But the good news is that in knowing this, when I notice them, I can take simple countermeasures to reset, like stopping before 8 p.m, not working after dinner, just bookmark and relax. Enjoy a book, a walk, listening to rain sounds, getting up and doing knee lifts, squats, windmill arms, sensory grounding, like a shower and moisturising, and reset phrases like, I've done my best for today and it's enough. I've learned that stopping early isn't losing time, it's priming myself for tomorrow. Which resets prepare you to start fresh tomorrow? As I've mentioned, I've pushed myself too hard many times. I've had to learn the hard way. Doing enough doesn't mean finishing the task. It means touching the work lightly by giving myself a sense of continuity without demand. In my life, the effort consistency looks like requesting chat prompts but not answering them yet, gathering easy stats to feed into future preparation, planting the seed of an idea but not developing it yet, leaving breadcrumbs for future me to pick up on another day. A tiny action is enough to keep me steady. I haven't abandoned myself, I've just minimised my steps without grinding to a halt. What does enough look like on your low capacity days? Isn't it reassuring to realise that simple really does work? I know it does for me when I'm hitting the reset button. I just sense how I'm feeling and pick something easy that will balance me out. It's usually something like getting outside if I can, something warming like a shower, moisturising, a hair massage, doing gentle stretches or strength movements, putting on some uplifting music, watching an old comedy episode or sketch, finding a fun animal clip to smile at, cozying in to do some gratitude journaling. But the bottom line, it'll be something small that opens the window again, leaving me feeling lighter and better. Because all I really need is to rebalance. Which activities balance the scales for you? If you recognise yourself in any of this, I hope it's helped to remind you of the simple steps you can take to prevent it, just by noticing the signs and taking care of yourself. Most of us push too hard for one reason: we care. So we're not failing, we're just a little too devoted. And we need to balance that. You don't have to earn rest, you don't have to finish everything, and you definitely don't have to push yourself to the point where fear takes over. You deserve to move through life with steadiness, not strain. If this resonated, let me know what your early warning signs are, or what enough looks like for you. And if you want more gentle tools like this, be sure to subscribe and we can take more steps together. Take very good care of yourself.